We're going to go ahead and call the work session meeting to order. First item is the Municipal Service Committee and Chairman Ed Long.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a relatively short agenda tonight, and we're going to get started with a committee report. This is the first time this gentleman has been before us this year, so everybody be ready to ask questions and anything like that whenever we get through with it. And at Jay with A&P, Jay, you got 15 minutes, please.
Okay, no? Okay. Hello, okay, so, I just want to present the report. I'm just gonna go very brief. I won't take you 15 minutes unless you want me to, since I haven't come in a long time. So we have collected until now, revenues, $812,597.63. Out of that, we have given to Parks and Rec, $603,799.14. That's roughly around 74% of what we are taking in. Separate than that, we have done, we have approved for Cabot Fest. We have done the 4th of July fireworks, and then we have done the Cabot Athletics gymnastics softball tournament, and the last one we did is the Cabot Foundation for Arts and Culture, the film festival. And also we have given to Cabot City Beautiful Christmas in Cabot $32,000, and some other small items that we have given. So total we have spent until now a little bit over $775. So that's kind of a short recap of what we have done until now and where we are.
Jay, before I turn it over to the council for questions, why don't
You start at the beginning, tell us what y'all do, how you get your money, how you disperse it, who your commissioners are. Give us an overview of what's going on with it, because I've got 5 new guys here that probably don't know very much about it.
Okay.
So, we need to know who A&P is, where they get their money, what they do. Need you to
Okay.
start at the beginning, if you would, please.
Okay, we collect 1.5% from the A&P. It's called the hamburger tax. And what we do is we invest those in advertising and promotion for Cabot, mainly for the Parks and Rec we give out, and that was established roughly around. Do you remember, Ed? Because I think it was in 80s? 94? Yeah. So, and also the commissioners are, myself, I own the Days Inn and Suites in Cabot. We have a restaurant. We have Chef Candace representing the restaurant. We have Brian Knowles representing Colton's. We have Brian Williamson representing Peppermint Grill. Give me. And also we just renovated our website just this year. So that way we are collecting now online, and they can remit their receipts online, so they don't have to send a manual check and all that. So the commissioners, then we have 2 from the city, Matt Weber and Stephen Reed. And then from the community, we have Greg Jones. And then we have Gina Jones, and for our legal consultant is Clint. And we just updated our website, and we can take ACH and A&P collections by credit card too. Of course, there is a fee for it, and that's how we do it. So I'm sorry, it was done in 1992. So do you have any questions that I need to cover?
We'll start out with James. James?
No, just a comment over looking over this. It looks like we're on track in the city for a banner year on the A&P. Year to date, we're at 812,000.
Mm-hmm.
If you amortize that over the rest of the year, that's $1.2 million. So it's about $200,000 more than we've done in the last 2 years.
Yes. Keep in mind that the price of the cost of doing business has gone up also. Like, the restaurants have increased their prices compared to that. Nationally, on average out, it's almost 32% up, everything. So same way goes for the hotels also. So our cost of doing business or whatever we collect is gone up. But if you see the costing of that, the 30% up has not been reflected that much into the collection. So, I mean, we are still seeing that, the more they are coming in is not increasing the restaurants in overall. So, I mean, it's getting divided into what we have in the pool. It's not like, we have some of the recent ones, Slim Chickens and some other ones that are coming. It's not like Colton's is, if Colton is making this much, it's not that they have increased if you count the 32, whatever the national average that the Restaurant Hotel Owners Association has come up with, it doesn't fit into his deal. And they are still price increasing. I mean, as you know, everybody's having more issues on supplies. Like right now, we are suffering for shampoos and textiles. I don't know if you guys know, but textiles from China are being an issue right now. All the factories are being turned down because of power and coal emissions. So we are having textiles issue big time. So towels and all that. So we are keeping a big eye on people stealing towels. So just caution to you guys, so
Supply chain is definitely in trouble right now.
It is changed a lot. So especially for the chicken prices and all the other stuff that goes with it for our restaurants, those are going up drastically.
But it does seem we have good support from the citizens of Cabot for our restaurants and our hotels here in town.
Yes, absolutely.
Jay, could you tell us when, where, how often you meet?
Okay, we meet once a month at the third Tuesday, and we meet at the Commons Room, which is located near the chamber. So that's where we meet every Tuesday at 8:30. And we have a new website also that we have launched this year. It's called Cabot, C-A-B-O-T, A-N, the word A-N-P.com.
Matthew? You don't have any either? Brandon?
No.
Maggie, as many times as you've been in front of A&P, surely you got some questions, comments, concerns, or something, my dear.
No, sir. I thank them for what they do and give them back to the community.
Ron?
There is one more thing I want to mention. The HLA, which is the American Hotel and Lodging Association.
Okay, hang on just a second. I had gotten to Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
I'm okay.
You got it? Okay. Now then, Jay.
okay. The AHLA thrown out a survey, through Calibri Labs. It's a very well-known associated, and they are predicting that this year in the travel industry, I'm just going to mention Arkansas, is going to be a minus 42.2%. So, keep in mind that that is coming down the drain because of cost and traveling and all that affection, because of the flu seasons also. So just wanted to mention that in there.
Well, Jay, the ordinance that you're operating under requires a quarterly report.
Okay? Yes.
I would like for you to see if you could tighten that up a little bit and do your reports a little bit better, so we can at least be in compliance with the ordinance, if you don't mind.
Okay.
The way that you get on the agenda on that is that you need to call the mayor's office, talk to Cleota, you can get on the agenda. If you can't get a hold of her, you can get a hold of me, and we'll get you on the agenda. I would prefer, because of the other committees that do their reports, I would prefer that yours be the middle month of the quarter, is what I would prefer on that. So if you could work that into your schedule, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you.
Anybody, hang on.
Oh.
Anybody in the audience got any questions for Jay? Anything on Facebook?
Travis, you want to say something? Oh.
Facebook hadn't got anything for you, and I think you need to be proud of that.
Hey, Ed,
Yes.
point of order.
Yes, go ahead.
Looks like Cabot's numbers, I know he has this hotel deal saying it's going to be down 42% this year, but right now ours is up 17% from
Right.
19 to 21.
Yeah, ours is up overall. That's what I
So-
think, that's what James brought up, and Jay kind of went
Well,
over it a little
That's a
bit.
I was
Our-
talking about the hotel.
Yeah,
So our hotels are up 17%.
Our hotels are doing well. They are.
I don't know where his source is, but I guess. he
From the
can see that.
sales taxes from the state.
Okay. But is that specify only the 3 hotels that we have? Or
Yes.
it's only the whole?
Yes,
deal?
Cabot's.
So
Cabot's
it's
Hotels.
Including restaurants?
Just Cabot Hotels.
Okay, okay. Because
Okay.
we are not privy for that information regarding the new legislators, so we cannot see what each hotels and each restaurant is doing, so.
We
I mean,
don't see it by
you can see
individual
it.
stuff either, Jay. We get it, it's categorized, so I mean,
Okay.
we're not,
This is, yours says hotel, business, travel, revenue, accommodations. Mine is travel accommodation. So it's the same thing. It's an NAICS code for our community.
Community,
So our community is doing well.
okay,
Mayor, I think what Jay was concerned about was it had days in on it and had what his revenue was, and he was getting a little nervous over that, I think.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is just, they printed out a survey that they are expecting a business down, so that's what I'm putting it out. I mean, it's not like it's happened, but their predictions are for 2021. So this is what they are predicting right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Looks like Cabot's in good shape, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Ed.
you said that your meetings were held on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock or 8:30, correct?
8:30.
Okay. And you have them at the Commons Room.
Commons room,
Why do you not use the facilities like here, where that more people could be accommodated? Have you thought about broadcasting your meetings on Facebook? Have you thought about any of that?
We can put it up on Facebook or whatever if the city is going to provide us, because it's another expense that we are going to incur. And I mean, I'm okay if the city wants me to do it, I will head to that direction. I mean, we can have it anywhere, wherever you guys need it to have it. I mean, we have been meeting for all these years into the Commons Room, which
Well, I was
is,
asking,
you guys are paying the rent.
I was asking, I was asking the rationale behind it. You know, that was all I was asking. I don't know why it's that way, and I was asking why.
I honestly don't know, because this was going on like whenever you were there. I mean, I just entered back then, and they were meeting over there, and we just continued to meet over there. We discussed, Matt brought up into the last meeting, we discussed all the points that he had brought in about why the chamber or this thing. But from what I understood, the city is paying the rent for us to meet at the Chamber of Commerce building Commons Room.
That Commons Room is owned by the city.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, it's not owned by the chamber.
it's not? Okay.
No, it's owned by the city.
Okay.
It's a city property.
My misunderstanding.
How long have your members, your current members that you've got on there now, how long have they been on the commission?
My term expires next year. I think everybody staggers. So every year we are having to send you one for renewal or disqualification. Sometimes it don't make it to your packets. Sometimes it makes it. It all depends. I mean, but every year is what we have seen steadily. We are putting the terms on the website also, so that way everybody can see it. But it's 4 years in total that we are allocating on each member as per the codes of the ordinance.
What I was asking is how many years have your members been on the commission now?
I am the longest one. I think Brian is the second longest one.
And how long have you been on there?
I have been 4 years. 8. I think 8 or I would say 7, because my term expires next year.
You've been on it a total of 7 years?
If my memory doesn't fail, yes.
Okay. Who else is the next longest one on there?
I think Brian Knowles, I think he has been just reappointed, so I think he's at 5 years.
The others?
And the rest of it is brand new, about a year or 2 at the max.
And you were made up of how many members?
Total of 7, 4 from the industry, 2 from the city, and 1 is a member at large, which is Greg Jones right now. And
Okay.
that is what is stipulated in the ordinance. So
Well,
We
I
have-
believe that's stipulated in state statute. I don't, I
Mhm.
think the ordinance just measures the statute on that, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, sir.
All right, let's get you on schedule for your next one, and
Okay.
next year, let's try to pop them the way we need to, okay?
Okay.
Can we do that?
Also, I want to ask, I mean, do you want to see the same report, or you want to see check by check whatever we have dispersed? So that will be one of my questions that I never got the answer. How would you like to see it?
Our job is not to audit,
Okay.
okay? So I think a check-by-check deal, I believe our attorney over there would probably be laid out in the floor and we'd be having to resuscitate him if we get into auditing you. We don't audit.
No, I mean, the expenses.
Let me answer your question. Our job here is oversight. We're not audit. We want a report. We want to know what's going on. We kind of want to just get the feel of the pulse is what we want to do. And it's been really important this year because we've got so many new members on the council. And I think it's important that everybody know the commissions that they are responsible for, that they know what's going on. And that's what we do. Now, we're not going to get into auditing. We're not going to sit here and go through your checks, check by check, and check them off. I think that's
No, I was
bordering
just
on being
asking,
just a
like,
little
if you
bit
need
ridiculous.
Whatever we have disbursed to all the applicants into our deal. So would you like to see whatever we have given out to?
I think
the
it would be,
community?
I think it would be good to have a list of the functions that you have funded and
Okay.
what the attendance was on those, and if it was cost effective, if it brought people into Cabot. I think that would be information that y'all would have, and I think that would be good to share. So, yeah, that kind of stuff I think would be good.
Okay. Definitely.
Last time, anybody else got anything? All right, Jay, thank you.
Thank you.
Matt, you're up.
So if you'll remember a while back, I said that I would be coming to you with this proposal in the fall. Well, here it is. This is a proposal to amend the current food truck ordinance. I would like to say thank you for providing feedback to Laura from Public Works and Ben at the City Attorney's Office. There are three main goals for this proposal. One is to create another time period and fee for the vendors. The second goal is to provide two options for organizers of events on AMP payments. And the third goal was to rework some of the definitions and grammatical issues, and I'll defer to Mr. Hooper on those. But just real quick, on the first two goals, if you look at Section 4 on the fee schedule, like I said, creating another time period, we are asking to put in a new 3-month permit at a rate of $30. This is just another option for the vendors. If they think that they're doing well for 3 months, hopefully they'll then decide to go for a 1-year permit. We haven't seen a whole lot of activity on the 1-day permit, but then the second goal I mentioned was, if you'll look at Section 6 on the taxation. Basically, this is providing two options for large events for organizers. You'll see that on small events with less than 5 participant vendors, it's business as usual on the collection process. For larger events, the organizer can have the option of staying with the status quo on paying or collecting the tax, but it also would give the organizers an option of collecting the fee and paying it on behalf of the vendors. The organizer should provide copies of the A&P reporting form just to show the calculations are correct. And then just for ease, it would be just one payment overall submitted to the A&P. But I'll be happy to answer any questions. As far as the different definitions and grammaticals, Mr. Hooper and I discussed cleaning it up. Some of the verbiage was awkward, but if he wants to address that.
I think you covered it very well. We did change some of the definitions. That definition of mobile food establishment is really overwrought. You could tell it was written by a lawyer at some point. The definition Matt provided of just food truck and food truck vendor is much more simple, to the point. Everybody knows what it is. I did ask to clean up a little bit of the language in sections 8, 9, and 10. No intent of anything was changed. No operative portion was changed. Just kind of cleaning it up and making it read a little better. But other than that, no, it's exactly as Matt described it.
So with these improvements, we hope, as well as now being able to acquire permits and make payments online, both with the permits, the business permits, and the A&P fees online, it's going to make it easier and more attractive for these vendors to come to town. And from what we've seen, Cabot is really wanting these options. We love the restaurants we have, but these are up-and-comers that hopefully will eventually invest in the community and put a brick and mortar in. So I'm asking that it be sent on to the council, but no other special considerations. I'm hoping that after 3 readings, we'll approve it and make it effective January 1. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to
Thank
set it
you.
for-
Hang it. Thank you, Matt. Has anybody got any questions need to address to Matt before we get to motion? Okay, it's open for a motion.
I make a motion, we send to full council.
Motion to send to full council. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Tammy?
Long,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, I think that takes care of that, doesn't it? You're welcome, sir. Let me get back up here to where I was. Okay, our next thing is one of our just ordinary housekeeping ordinance. It's another ordinance to levy a tax lien on a property that we cleaned up. I think all the information, everything was in the packet. Has anybody got any questions on that? We're seeing those as a pretty regular part of business. I need a motion
I'll motion to send to full council.
and a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
All right, our next one is, where is she? You're going to do it? Okay. All right, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. The next one is a resolution authorizing the mayor and the city clerk, treasurer to enter into agreement for expenditures of funds from the Community and Development Fund. What this is we have Michael Retzer here from the Retzer Group. We also have his marketing director. Did I get that right? Carrie from there as well. And they're wanting to put in a 4-story Holiday Inn Express here in our city. They've already purchased the land and have everything ready to go. And, they needed a little help from us, incentives, and, we've been talking about that for a lot of years, what kind of incentives what we could do to someone. And he and Michael and I have talked, and I've talked with Ed, and we've all come together for what you see in your packet for what we thought would be a good negotiation to do to get your business to our city. And that's what I'll basically asking for y'all tonight. But I've got Michael here, the owner, and his marketing director to tell you more about the project and answer any questions you may have. So, Carrie, you want to come up? Can all the council, you might want to pull the chair up here a little bit closer, if you would. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay, we have a rendering here for the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. We're looking to hopefully open the first quarter of 2023. It would be 80 rooms comprised of 55 rooms of queen double beds for 2 beds, hopefully to attract more families here that do come to stay with the great baseball facility that you have in Cabot. And then the other rooms would be comprised of king and king suites. And I can answer any questions, and Michael can as well if you have any.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, no, so it's an exciting opportunity. It was a competitive situation with the Holiday Inn Express franchise. I'm excited that they have awarded it to us. And Carrie runs my hotel group. And if any of you have ever seen the True in Stuttgart, Carrie's involved with that project, and I think does a tremendous job running that facility in a very a way that I think would make every one of you proud of. We're excited about the Cabot opportunity. The land that we're purchasing is obviously next to Home Depot. The plan is to construct the Holiday Inn Express and then come back and hopefully add an additional hotel to your community. It's certainly a big investment, and we're really bullish on the Cabot market and all the things that you have going. That Alicia and Ken have educated not only us on, but Hilton and Holiday Inn Express as well. And so, I appreciate the partnership, and looking forward to getting you at least one beautiful hotel.
Hey, Michael, can you tell them how big investment and then how many employees?
Yeah, sure. So the Holiday Inn Express investment, of course, with cost on everything accelerating, my best guess right now is that project's going to be between $9 and $10 million for the 80-room Holiday Express, and then the Hampton Inn will be between $13 and $14 million. It's a expensive property, and North Little Rock is in the process of moving and rebuilding a new Holiday Express there. So the brand is certainly vibrant and growing, and I think one that will do well with the sports complex that you all have in your future. And there's I think the bottom line is, I think you're very well aware that right now Cabot's losing hotel rooms every night to the surrounding cities, and so that's the similar thing that we saw in Stuttgart. We're doing extremely well there with our occupancy, and as when we built that hotel, it was basically the same. You had the same type of hotels that you have now. We're in Stuttgart. Of course, I think Cabot is frankly a lot more vibrant than Stuttgart at this point. So we're excited about the projects. Certainly a lot of money that we've got planned, and I will we have hit one hiccup with the property. We haven't quite closed on it yet, and we went to close on it, and there were some covenants that Home Depot has on the property with some barriers that we have to give them notice about what we're doing. So I want you all to just be aware of that as well. But we're nothing we can't work through, and we feel confident that we'll resolve it. But that is a hiccup that we hit in the last few days.
Thank you, Michael. Also want to let you know, Maggie Cope reached out to me today with a couple great questions. Her questions were, how much is in that fund? 126,000 is in that economic development fund, and is there any other contingencies against it? I know of none. And then the next question would be, how is it replenished? And it's replenished each year by business license, so 80,000 will go into it next year. So it is a healthy fund right now, and you've read the agreement on this and what they're asking for, and I think this would be good for Cabot. I think just if his revenues are what he says it's going to be, we'll return in sales tax what we're giving him each year in this fee. So it would be a break even for us, plus all the other people coming in, staying in our town, eating in our restaurants. And how many jobs did you say again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it'll be 22 to 25
okay.
jobs.
Okay, so that's going to be a big help to our community.
And as we discussed at the last meeting, whenever this ordinance came up and everything, that will not encumber the general fund. That money is already set aside. You've never depended on it out of the general fund. It's
yes, sir.
there.
Yes, sir.
We've had it fenced. We've had it blocked. This is a way to use it for the benefit of the community. And you're not dependent on it to keep the doors open. And that's the good part about using this fund for that, in my opinion. All right. Everybody knows what's going on. You saw it in your packet. You've heard the presentation. And by the way, I want to thank both of y'all for being here. Thank you for being here on Zoom. I know that sometimes it's inconvenient to attend these silly little meetings for us, but it's important to us, and we really do appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, Michael would have been here. He had to go to New York on hotel business, so that's where.
I know, and I understand that, and it shows that he appreciates the community by being here on Zoom, and I honestly do appreciate that. I really do, and thank you for being here.
I hope you guys give me another opportunity to meet. I want to meet each one of you in the coming days, so I hope the mayor will invite me back soon.
Just bring your expense account to Cabot anytime you want to.
He said bring your expense account to Cabot anytime you want to.
All right. That's what we've got. I need a motion to send this to the council, please.
I'll make a motion to send to full council.
I got a motion. I need a second.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Tammy, please.
Long,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Okay. We will deal with that on the council, and I appreciate everybody's attention. I appreciate all the input tonight. Thank you. It was good. Again, thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Kerry.
We really do appreciate it. That concludes mine, Mayor.
Okay, next is the Budget and Personnel Committee. Chairman Matt Weber.
Mayor, I have no business that I know of unless anybody else has something for us.
Police and Fire, Chairman James Reed.
We don't have anything on the agenda tonight. I've spoken with both of the chiefs, and we're good right now.
Okay. Community Development Committee, Chairman Ed Long, which that could have went under there, but,
Yeah, they could go anywhere. Let's move that over there to them and say that was business for them.
okay. All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Rodway Mack, Military Affairs.
Don't have nothing, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for general community input. You can share now, or you can wait. We're going to have a council session next, or you can share now, whichever you would like to do. If you would, come to the podium, state your name, and tell us if you live in Cabot. Seeing none, if I could get a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second by Matt to adjourn at 7:06. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Adjourned at 7:06. We will reconvene at 7:11. 5-minute break. We're going to call our Cabot City Council meeting to order. Okay, I'm glad everybody could stay with us. We're going to start off by an opening prayer by Matt Weber and the Pledge of Allegiance by Michael Jones. Please stand with me.
Please bow with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for the gift of life and your abundant blessings. Thank you for the beloved freedoms that we enjoy and cherish in this great country of ours. I ask that you give us wisdom and guide us to be the leaders our city needs. Help us to build a community worth your grace. Help each of us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding, and help us to speak with charity and respect. Father, please wrap your arms around our military and first responders. We pray that you please protect them from all harm. Please forgive me, Father, when I fail you, and we ask all these things in the name of your precious Son. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Tammy, can you give us a roll call for the records?
Long,
Here.
Jones,
Here.
Red, Hillenberg,
Here.
Cope,
Here.
Reed, Weber,
Here.
Waymack.
Here.
7 present, 1 absent. Next item is approval of minutes. We have 2 sets here. We'll start with the first one. Can I have any action on the minutes from September 7th, 2021?
Motion that we approve the minutes from September 7th, 2021.
I second.
I got a motion from Michael, a second from Brandon, to approve the minutes from September 7th, 2021. Any discussion or revisions or additions? See none. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next item is minutes from our September 20th, 21 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion from James, a second from Michael, to approve the minutes from September 20th, 2021. Any discussions or revisions or additions? See none. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Our next item is read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
Make a motion to read ordinances and resolutions by title only.
Second.
I got a motion by Matt, a second by Michael, to read ordinances and resolutions by title only. Any discussion? See none. All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next item is City Council old business, and I don't have any on the agenda. Does anyone have any that we're not aware of? Seeing none, let the record show. Next item, City Council new business. First item is ordinance number 36 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Ordinance number 36 of 2021, an ordinance creating, certifying, and confirming tax liens against real properties at various locations within the city of Cabot for funds expended to pay for services rendered due to code violations, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. First reading.
I make a motion to suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 36 of 2021.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from James, to suspend the ordinance number 36 of 2021, the second and third reading. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 36 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second from Michael, to adopt ordinance number 36 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Mayor, so these liens can be filed timely, I make a motion that we adopt the emergency clause, ordinance 36 of 2021.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second by James, to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 36 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Long,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Our next item, Stevens is here tonight. We sold our sales and use tax bonds from the bond vote on August 10th. It's ordinance number 37 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Ordinance number 37 of 2021, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of sales and use tax bonds for the purpose of financing and refinancing the cost of capital improvements, pledging a 1% sales and use tax to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
If you all could give me a motion in a second, I'll open up a discussion and let Stevens give a summary of everything that happened and what y'all need to know.
I make a motion that we suspend the second and third reading of ordinance 37, 2021.
I'll second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second by James, to suspend the second and third reading of ordinance number 37 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Coe,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Make a motion we adopt ordinance 37 of 2021.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion from Ed, a second by James, to adopt ordinance number 37 of 2021. We'll go ahead and open it up for discussion. Stevens?
Mayor Kincaid, members of the council, good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you all this evening. This is, of course, the third time that the city of Cabot has gone to the voters to rededicate an existing sales tax, and you all have been successful every time. So I congratulate you on your most recent vote, as well as the other ones. Excuse me. We had a very successful sale this morning. Your bond issue was rated A+ by Standard & Poor's. We had a rating meeting with Ms. Yoakum and the mayor, probably about a month ago. And when the rating analyst came back, he really gave indications, and I'm telling you, I have not heard this before, but there was discussions of a AA-, but they just felt like that if they had another little bit of history of the tax collections, they could have gotten there, but they stuck with an A+. And a lot of that has to do with because of the growth of the tax over the last 5 years, which has been at 6.45%. So it's been incredible. So we sold $21,540,000 worth of taxable bonds. That included the refinancing of the 13 issue and for the generating project funds for the public health project and for the animal control. That true interest cost came in at 1.965, and those bonds are projected to pay off in 2031 with 0% growth and with 3% growth at 2029. The tax-exempt portion of the bonds, which refinanced your 16 issue and generated the project funds for streets, drainage, police, fire, early warning, and parks and rec, came in at a true interest cost of a 2.67%, and it's projected to pay off with 0% growth is 2041 and with 3% growth at 2037. You combine the two together, the true interest cost on the total issue of $71,700,000 was 2.42%. We went out this morning in an order period at about 9:30 to 11:30. By 11 o'clock, we had all the bonds sold, and in most every maturity, we were oversubscribed. Honestly, we had 71 million. We had orders of over 200 million for your bonds. And so we were able to reduce the interest cost on what we presented first thing this morning, and it saved the city a little over around $230,000, $240,000, I think, what I sold you. So all the bonds have been sold. We are going to close this issue on November the 17th, and that's when all the project funds will be sent to the trustee, which is U.S. Bank. They came in with the best bid of all the trustees that we reached out to. And again, I can't tell you how successful the sale went this morning, and I want to congratulate you all. And let me stop and see if anybody has any questions.
The internet, and that we're going to do another issue for it.
Yes, yes. The internet, had to have some legislative action, and I know Mr. Marshall can speak more to that because he was very involved in that. But there are a couple of other hoops that need to be jumped through before we can do the internet bond. So that will come on with what we call the Series 2022 bonds is what we're thinking. And so the way we've had this issue structured, we've got about 20 years that your payments are around the $2.7 million range, and then once we get to 2044, they jump to about the $4.2 million range, with your tax collections for the last 12 months generating about $6.2 million. So your coverage levels are very good. So when the broadband issue comes in, we will basically take those maturities 2022 out to 2043, and that's where your payments will be, and will level out your overall debt service at about that slightly less than that $4.2 million range. And so that 2041 projected payoff that I mentioned, that includes the broadband bonds. So once all those legislative actions get taken, we'll basically update the offering document, which we've included in the offering document. These bonds will be coming, and we will offer them for sale and then come back before you all for your final approval. Is there anything else you'd like me to add, Mayor?
No, I'd like to open up the council and see if they have questions for you. But I just wanted you to share that, let them know that they all haven't been sold yet.
That's correct. All that has been authorized, that's correct.
Mayor, I do have one question.
Go ahead.
What legislation, and you said you might be able to elaborate on the broadband, is holding this up?
Thank you. It's good to be before you again tonight. My name is Taylor Marshall. I'm with Friday, Eldridge & Clark, and we're your bond counsel. The question was the legislation that had to be passed at this last regular session of the legislature prior to the legislation that we got passed. And congratulations, Mayor, on getting to this point, because the Mayor and I started working on this almost a year ago, maybe a year ago. And so what we had to do is, prior to the bill that we drafted, only cities that operated an electric system had the ability to provide any sort of broadband, whether directly or indirectly. And so what we had to do is we had to take a bill to the legislature to allow other cities, because Cabot does not operate an electric system, and we had to essentially get rid of that exemption. And so now Cabot is able to provide broadband services to its citizens. There are some hoops that the legislators drafted into this bill that we're in the process of trying to comply with. And so once we get through this issue, we'll start working with the mayor on the broadband issue. We'll start checking those legislative boxes, and ultimately we'll be able to issue those bonds.
Thank you.
We are the first to do this, so we want to make sure, and our legal team wants to make sure that everything is done perfectly, because we have a lot of cities looking at us because we are the first. And so I think that's why
Yes,
the team is taking more time. It's my understanding.
That's correct, Mayor. And so there is no blueprint for this. The legislation that was ultimately passed has various things that we have not done before. And so what we want to do is check each of those boxes and be very diligent in doing so. And so we're just taking our time at this point.
And we will be putting out the RFQ to the internet service providers sometime this month or the first of next month. And we were giving them 6 to 8 weeks, and then council, depending on where you sit on your seats, Ward 1 or Ward 2, will have to help rate who we use as our ISP. So we can't really spend the funds anyway till the first of the year, because we have a lot of other stuff we're working on that we're doing. So this is not holding us up. It's just making sure everything's legally okay.
That's correct. And to the mayor's point, one of the things that we have to do is we have to affiliate with a qualified service provider. And so we want to make sure that ultimately whoever we team up with to provide this service is qualified. And so we're going out with an RFQ to get qualifications. And then ultimately there'll be some sort of agreement that'll have to be entered into between the qualified service provider and the city. And so that'll kind of be the next step. And once we do that, there's a public hearing requirement that we'll have to go out and we'll have to advertise and we'll have to have a public hearing. And once we do that, we'll be in a position to issue bonds. But the voters have approved those bonds. And so once we kind of check these additional boxes, there's no additional election required or anything else. We'll be in a position to move forward.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing. The way we have this, what we call this mandatory redemption, which the bonds will be paid off early from your sales tax collections that are above and beyond what your payment is. They will pay off the 21A bonds first, which is the taxable series. And then once those are paid off, then they'll pay off the 21Bs and the 2022s on a pro rata basis. And then again, all the bonds based on 0% growth are projected to be paid off in 2041. So be happy to answer any other questions, Mayor, if there are any.
Council?
I'm
Anyone
pretty
from-
sure that I followed all of the dollar amounts and percentages that you uttered, but can we get those, because these are all blank spaces in the document, can we get an updated one with all of the numbers?
Yeah, I think, Ben, it's in here. He sent it later in the day because we didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so
We were going back and forth because they want the council, these bondholders want your council to say yes and approve a bond issue the same day. That's why it's been so fast. So.
And so before the meeting tonight, I passed out what we call red line copies. And so you had previously gotten a version that had blanks in it, and we were not able to fill those blanks in until the bond sale today. And so what you have before you now shows how all those blanks were filled in.
So Taylor's ready for a siesta. Because I know the bond sold about, what, 11:30? So it was a lot of work from then to tonight. And Ben, too. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, and I appreciate all your help. You've been, everybody's been very helpful who I've been working with in getting this bond issue to come together, including Stevens. We've all been working very hard for the city of Cabot, and we appreciate everybody's cooperation on that side. Do you want me to go through any of this ordinance, or y'all have had it? If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you want me to kind of go through and highlight anything, I'm happy to do that while you have me here. It's up to y'all.
I'm good.
I think everybody's okay.
Just
Yeah.
on a high-level summary, and Jack kind of covered the closing. We're going to close on November 17th, all right? And so at the closing, Stevens has agreed to buy the bonds, and so they'll wire the purchase price for these bonds to your trustee. We're going to pay off the 2016 bonds on the day we close, because those are callable. The 2013 bonds will have to set up an escrow, and bond proceeds will go into an escrow, and those will be paid off until June 1, 2023, at which time they can be called. All right, and then the remainder of the bond proceeds will go into 8 construction funds with U.S. Bank, okay? Each fund will be for each new money project that was approved by the voters. So once those funds hit those accounts, they'll be ready to be spent. And we have requisition funds that the mayor is able to, as the invoices come in for those various projects, he requests that U.S. Bank either pays the invoice directly, or the city at that point can pay the invoice and be reimbursed for that invoice. So that's kind of how that works. On the sales tax collections, it's going to work exactly how it's worked in the past with your sales tax bonds. U.S. Bank will get the sales tax collections directly from the state treasurer's office. They'll set aside funds needed to make principal and interest payments on these bonds. Any funds in excess of the amount necessary to make the P&I payments will go to pay bonds from the surplus tax collections. So those bonds will start paying down early from the surplus. No money will ever come back to the city from the sales tax collections. And that's the same as how it's always been.
And they'll be paying back the oldest bonds first.
That's correct. Is that correct?
Not so much the oldest, but what we would call the higher interest rates, and that's what allowed us to get on the taxable issue. In other words, the investor's not earning a 30 or 35-year interest rate because they're going to be paid back in such a short period of time, and that's how we're able to get that true interest cost down to 1.965. They would have been the higher interest rate, so we're paying them down first, and then we'll go to the 21B and 22s.
Okay, I got you.
The only other thing I haven't heard mentioned, the prepayment date on these bonds is December 1, 2028. And so that's kind of when you can look at restructuring this deal. Just like I talked about, the prepayment date on the 2016 bonds was earlier this year in 2021, so we can pay those off now. The 2013 bonds had a 10-year call, and so we can't really do anything with those bonds yet. We have to set up an escrow. But 2028, you can start thinking about doing the same thing you're doing now. As these bonds pay down, there could be an opportunity kind of around then to restructure and get some new money, assuming your tax collections have remained steady. So.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else have anything for Taylor or Stevens?
I just want to say one thing, again, congratulations, and thank you on behalf of Stevens and the Friday firm and Taylor and myself. Appreciate the opportunity to work with you all and look forward to seeing you again for the broadband issue.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Before we vote, anyone from the audience have any questions? I haven't been asking Facebook tonight because it's broken. I hear nationally it's broken. Anyone? Anyone else from council before we vote? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Mayor, so this ordinance can be timely and all of the bonding stuff be done on a timely basis as it should be. Make a motion that we adopt the emergency clause.
I'll
Second.
I got a motion from Ed, a second by James, to adopt the emergency clause for ordinance number 37 of 2021. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack, Long.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Last item that we have on the agenda is resolution number 52 of 2021. Please, Tammy.
Resolution number 52 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk treasurer to enter into an agreement for the expenditure of funds from the Community and Economic Development Fund to amend the budget and for other purposes.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 52 of 2021.
Second.
I got a motion by James and a second by Matt to adopt resolution number 52 of 2021. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience?
Mayor.
That's okay, Chad.
Mayor, I just have a
Oh, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
just want to update. So just so that I am making sure. So he said 22 to 25 jobs in this hotel,
Yes,
and then he has plans to build a second hotel?
yes, he bought enough land to build another one, and I didn't disclose that because he had thrown that out there, but obviously he threw it out there tonight to all of you, and he's already got the franchise rights, from my understanding, for the second hotel.
And that's going to be on the same
Same property,
property.
right next door.
And then you also said that, I mean, the way I calculated, 210 to 245,000 is what we're going to be giving them over the
Correct.
5 years. And then you think we're going to get that back in sales?
Well, if they just did, their calculations show, if they did $2 million a year and we're getting 2% sales tax, that's 40 grand we're getting back each year. Plus the A&P tax of 30 grand. So it's about 70 grand, so double our money. So if he only did 1,000 or $1 million in hotel reservations a year, you know, we'd still be getting 35,000. So really, we're putting this in place in Cabot for more jobs and more people to come, and to have hotels for our new multiplex that I know Travis is smiling big about, so he can put people up here and they can stay in our community.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it, and I all want new businesses in our town, of course, that's what I want, and the incentives that we need to, but I want to also make sure that we're taken care of financially, and we're taking care of the people that have been with us for 20-something years. I mean, Jay, you don't have to answer this, but like, what's your rate of capacity at your hotel?
Our rate right now, we are charging 100 and 115. We had increased, as per national average, we have increased a lot, but it's still not enough for the operation. Earlier, the mayor said that 17% is up, but just take in consideration, we have up also 27% is the national average of every hotel to be up into revenue-wise.
Okay, what's your capacity rate? Like, how full do you stay?
So
on a-
as of August, I can tell you is 74.9. For an average for 2019 was 48.2. An average for 2020 was 36.2. And the average for this year rolling in is 65.3. I mean, until the Cabot, the tournaments and all that is not there, I don't see any of us making it. But I mean, I'm all for new stuff. If the complex comes in, we can all get some business and we can all progress. But right now, as it fits in here, I mean, it's kind of a little bit hard for us to survive. I mean, most probably what happened in Stuttgart, some of the hotels got closed down hotels. So that's what could happen.
We do have a hotel feasibility study that was done, Maggie, and finished in March of 2021 that states that Cabot needs that upper mid-level hotel. And I think Jay's and the other three in town are called, bear with me, Economy. And it says Cabot is looking for the upper mid-scale, and they could harbor 3 to 4 per this study that the city paid for through the chamber.
And also, I understand there was a Marriott project also, which would have helped us also, because we are not competing against the same market. But take in consideration that other project, I don't know where it is or what it is, but I heard there was a Marriott project also that was coming across Willie Ray or somewhere out there. So, I mean, are you going to offer the money to everyone? If I want to expand tomorrow, if I want to build on back of the hotel, if I want to build 50, 60 rooms more, would you be giving me money too? That would be
I
my
guess that
question
would be
to you,
a
Mr.
mayor question.
That would be something we discuss and look at, and if so, we'd bring it for the council to get approval like we are now.
Okay. So, I mean, I understand the Marriott also applied, or you are in dealing with them too, from what I understood. So, I mean, the funds that you are allocating, and from what I heard, is 80,000 a year that you collect on license and fees?
80,000.
80,000? So if you give 80,000, you know, you have, for example, right now is 3 hotels or whatever you are talking about. So you have Marriott, you have a Hampton Inn, and you have a Holiday Inn. So are you gonna give all the 80 that you collect to all 3 hotels? What if
It's-
a restaurant wants to come in?
It's one deal at a time.
Yeah, but I mean, take in consideration, what if I want to build a restaurant over here in town, and I would seek, again, for the same money that I need to seek? Would you give me the money?
I'd have to look at the
too?
numbers. Every business deal, you look at the numbers, and I've looked at his prospectus, his numbers, his financials, and it was determined that this is what needed to be done.
And I'm not against the project, I just feel like a Holiday Inn, it's gonna go down, and it's gonna compete with the other 2 hotels like mine and the Super 8 more than if it would have been a higher flag than that one, because it's a mid-scale deal. I mean, your study said mid-scale, upper scale,
Yeah, and that's what this is.
but this Holiday Inn is not considered as mid.
It
it's
is in
considered
this-
as mid-scale.
It is in this book. It's considered in that range in this book. So it fits what it says in this book. Fits in the right category.
It's a mid-scale. but
It's a
I think
upper
it's okay.
mid-scale. That's what it's called. A mid-scale is not a Holiday Inn. It's like a Wyndham, a Clubhouse, a Crystal Inn, a Blue Bay, a Best Western. That's a mid-scale, according to this.
Do you have any other questions? No, okay.
Is there any way that we can get that study? to
Sure.
look at? And I would like an internal rate of return study that you were referring to that was done.
I didn't do an internal rate of return. I looked at his financials. Then I did an internal rate of return in my
It is,
head.
For the information that we got, it seems like it's a lot of money to commit for not having the information.
Well, you know, if you want to bring in development, you've got to bring incentives, and that's what we've been talking about forever. You went to CDI this past summer, and they talk about things like that. These are the people, they're either going to go to another town or they're going to come here. So we're going to get the money back out of them with their sales tax, with what they're going to bring in. And then on top of that, we're going to get all these people coming to our community that's going to stay here, and other restaurants are going to come here because there's a mid-level hotel. So if you build it, they will come.
I understand that, but I don't buy a car without looking at the sticker price. I'm just saying, I would like to see some numbers.
I don't have any on him, and he's not on the conference call, so he has those. Any other discussion?
And I just want to make clear, I'm not against it. I'm not against new businesses. That's what I want to come to Cabot. I just want to make sure that we're given every opportunity for all the new businesses to come, and we don't put all of our money just straight in this one project. And also, we have a lot of local people that own restaurants here and people that live in our community that own the hotels and stuff, and I want to make sure that they survive also. I mean, they live here, and so that's just my.
Okay, I understand. Good thoughts. Anyone else? Anyone from the audience? All in favor, roll call vote, please, Tammy.
Jones,
Yes.
Hillenberg,
Yes.
Cope,
No.
Reed,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Waymack, Long,
Yes.
Passes 6-1. Now we'll go into community input. If you have anything for council, please come to the podium, state your name, and if you live in Cabot. Seeing none, can I get a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion from Michael, a second from Ron. 7:46, all in favor say aye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Mayor.